All right, everybody. Well, welcome to the webinar, which I'm super excited to give today. I'm going to share my screen in 1 second, just getting my PowerPoint ready to go. I'm very excited to have you here today. We are going to be talking about really how to use a mobile application, a custom-built mobile application to accelerate practice growth, positive impact, and profitability. So some important P's there for sure. All right, so just to get started, I think, all of us, we're on this journey together. We're on this chiropractic hero's journey and always looking to find ways to improve our impact, improve our efficiency, improve our profitability, improve our enjoyment in practice. And many of us are looking to improve our opportunities for freedom, personal freedom, professional freedom, and financial freedom. And this journey has many twists and many turns, not unlike this picture where you can see parts of the road twisting and turning, but sometimes you don't always see what's ahead of you. And sometimes not seeing what's ahead of us can be a really good thing because we can be surprised by some really neat stuff, like hopefully what I'll share today, which is a really new concept in chiropractic. But sometimes we have some stuff in front of us that's not always so great. I don't know how it feels for you all, but at times for me, it feels like I'm on this track and constantly running over hurdles, coming up against challenges and trying to find ways to overcome those challenges, overcome those hurdles, so I can ultimately get to my destination. And my personal destination is to be able to have chiropractic practices that function at a very high level in terms of effectiveness and efficiency, create amazing clinical outcomes and patient experiences, and drives high levels of profitability. And I'm not apologizing for making money, because at the end of the day, if we're creating tremendous value, we should be rewarded for that. In my travels and speaking around the country and around the world, some common themes come up after talking to chiropractors, either who are in the audience or chiropractors who I consult with, that there are pretty, I would say, significant and common challenges where chiropractors need help with their practices. Excuse me. Common theme is that chiropractors want more new patients, and they need better care plan adherence. Too many times, doctors are running around kind of chasing their patients to make sure they're following up with their care plan, making sure that patients don't self-discharge, that they actually complete the course of care that's been recommended to them. And also operational efficiency, just helping the staff become more efficient, more effective. The more effective and efficient our staff becomes, the more they enjoy their jobs and the less headaches we have as practice owners. Because if they have less headaches, we have less headaches, and that's a good thing for everybody. So I don't know about you all, but I've definitely been down the road of challenges and again, obstacles to overcome. And the three things that I've mentioned, trying to attain our new patient goal, understanding where we fall with self-discharges and patients not completing their care plan, and operational ineffectiveness and the amount of money that costs us over time, where we are not as efficient and we're not providing not only remarkable experiences for our patients, but remarkable experiences for our staff. So this is me. I'm standing outside of one of my offices in Fairfax, Virginia, and our company name for many years was called Sport and Spine Rehab. Now, for those of you that don't know, we have 4 chiropractic rehab offices in the DC metro region. And in 2018, we decided that we really needed to rebrand. We needed a new name. We needed a new everything, really. And one of the reasons why we needed a new name was because there are so many practices out there that have either the word sport or spine or rehab in them that there was just too much brand confusion. And so we just feel like, we understand the importance of differentiation, and we wanted to make sure that the next name that we picked for our business and our practice was going to be so different that nobody could ever copy it. And that's exactly what we did. So we picked the name Kaizo. Now, Kaizo actually is the Japanese word for rebuild or reconstruct. And in the gaming world, it's also known as a hack and pushing the limits of human potential. And I think that's really kind of our company culture. Like, we're always trying to push the limits of excellence. We're always trying to push the limits of how we can do things better. And so we have 3 divisions of this particular company. Kaizo Health is our 4 chiropractic rehab practices. Kaizo Clinical Research Institute is our nonprofit 501c3. We run clinical trials out of this part of the company. And we study a variety of different things. We just became part of a large multi-year, multi-million-dollar NIH grant studying the effect of vibration, heat, and cold on acute and chronic pain. So we've been involved in research for many, many years. And then Kaizo X, which X stands for exercise, which is the intersection, the fusion of science and fitness, because everything that we do is data-driven and evidence-based. And I'll share a lot of information with you as it relates to that. But our tagline for Kaizo became our mantra. We were going to rethink, rebuild, restart. We're going to rethink everything that we're doing in the business. We're going to rebuild our company in a way that makes us even stronger. And we're going to restart the way in which we go about everything that we do. And this also applies to our patients, because we want them to rethink what appropriate healthcare delivery looks like. We want them to rebuild their bodies, and we want them to restart their lives. By the way, this goes the same for our referral sources. We want them to rethink how they make referrals to other healthcare providers versus us. We know that when chiropractic is the portal of entry provider for non-operative spine care, the total cost of care is the lowest across the board. We know that, and we need our referral sources to rethink how they're making referrals. And of course, if they're rethinking the way that they make referrals, then we're rebuilding the healthcare system, and we're restarting our healthcare economy in a whole new way. So this has many, many meanings for us as an organization. And certainly in a time of COVID, we're rethinking everything still. And we're working to rebuild what the mess is of COVID, and certainly helping people restart their lives. But when we rebranded in 2018, one of the areas that we really wanted to pay attention to was our doctor to self-discharge ratio. So I told you that we're very much a data-driven company, very evidence-based. And so what we did is we went back and we looked at all of our data around the percentages of patients who discharge at the end of their doctor recommended care plan versus the number of patients that self-discharge or do not complete their care plan. And our goal is 80%. We want 80% of our patients to finish their care plan, because we realize that 100% would be unrealistic. We think 80% is a realistic target. Well, what we found is we were well below that target. And when we started to identify the reasons why our patients were self-discharging, the number one reason why patients self-discharge is that they're feeling better. Now, I don't know what it's like in your practices, but in other conversations that I've had with other healthcare providers, other chiropractors, other physical therapists across the board, this is a common theme. Patients feel better. They think they are better. They don't understand the risks of a recurring injury happening. And so they just stop coming. And so even though we try and work, our educational systems inside of the office, we're constantly communicating to them where they are in their care plan, why they're continuing to do their rehab progressions, patients just sometimes make an independent decision not to continue with care. And so for me, my biggest fear is someone who says, I feel better, I feel great, I'm done. And then 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years from now, they wake up and they say, oh, my back hurts. And, ultimately, as it relates to my biggest fear, is this conversation that potentially could occur where someone goes up to my patient and says, my back hurts, should I go see your chiropractor? And my patient or my ex-patient says, no, my chiropractor didn't really help me. My pain came back within a few months. I don't believe in chiropractic. Now, if anybody's been in chiropractic long enough, they've probably heard someone say that to them. I don't believe in chiropractic. Now, in this particular example that I'm using where a patient self-discharges, they don't complete their care plan, their pain comes back, they're not taking responsibility for that. All they know is they went to the chiropractor, it helped short-term, didn't help long-term. Now, all of a sudden, it becomes a belief system. And we could go down this rabbit hole of why that is. Like somebody could have a plumber come to their house and not fix their sink appropriately, but nobody's walking around saying, I don't believe in plumbing. But, if you understand kind of the history of chiropractic, you know what happened with the AMA Committee on Quackery, the Wilk trial, the antitrust case, all those things portend to having us at a disadvantage socially in the reputation of chiropractic. Now, is it improving over time? Absolutely. Is there more evidence over time that proves what we do works and that we're an evidence-based profession? Absolutely. but we still have an uphill battle to climb. We also know from the scientific evidence that the most accurate predictor of any future injury is past injury. And even though, again, we tell our patients this, sometimes they just don't care. They feel better and they want to stop. At the end of the day, when a patient self-discharges, it creates a challenge for them and it creates a challenge for our brand. And so my goal is to protect my brand, Kaizo Health, but it's also to protect the brand of chiropractic. So I went to my research team. This is Jenna on the left, and that's John on the right. Jenna is our Director of Research and Innovation, and John is our Principal Technology Engineer. And I went to them and said, guys, what is happening in the world today? Where can we meet patients where they are and create a more remarkable experience and also drive improved adherence, drive more doctor discharges? So after talking about this in over many sessions, many meetings, we came up with the concept of building our own custom practice app for Kaizo. Now here's what we know about the evidence. We know that the number of worldwide connected devices has grown by 50% in the last 6 years, in the 6 billion range. We know that 90% of smartphone time is spent on apps. And the reason that people prefer apps over a mobile site on their phone is because it's more convenient. And by the way, it's more convenient because it's faster and their settings are stored. And also, 1 out of 3 people prefer to use mobile apps because there's benefits or rewards for using it. So we took this information and said, okay, this is really interesting consumer data. What does the clinical data say? And when we started looking at systematic reviews, meta-analyses, clinical trials, here's what we found. That the widespread adoption of mobile phones highlights a significant opportunity to impact health behaviors globally. Now you might say, well, what do you need to impact health behaviors globally for? You're just a chiropractic rehab practice in the DC metro region. You got 4 practices. How do you impact people globally? And just so you know kind of how we think about our business is like our mission statement is inspiring and empowering a healthier, happier world. And if we're not using mobile applications, it would be much harder to achieve that mission. But if we did build a mobile application for our practice and we included things like telehealth or like an algorithm to deliver exercises after someone takes an assessment, we can actually improve health behaviors globally. And that's what we set out to do. Another systematic review showed that 11 randomized controlled trials demonstrated improved adherence in medication. Adherence, so patients were better at taking their medications in all 11 randomized controlled trials in this systematic review. This other review, published in the Journal of Medical Internet Research, showed that the review showed the promising and emerging efficacy of using mobile apps and text messaging as mobile health interventions. So we're talking about close to 40 or so randomized controlled clinical trials into 3 systematic reviews. I think that's pretty strong evidence. But then we started looking at the competition, right? Like what are other big businesses doing out there that we might learn something from? Now, most of you probably know at this point that CVS Health actually owns Aetna, the insurance company. And what CVS Aetna did is they built their own app for medication adherence. Because of course CVS wants to sell more drugs, that's a no-brainer. That's why they want medication adherence, but Aetna also wants to prevent chronic disease progression. Now I'm in no way advocating drugs for chronic diseases because I think we know from the evidence that many disease states could be easily corrected through lifestyle modification, but that's a different webinar for a different day. But for Aetna, if patients are taking the medications that they're currently on, excuse me, the likelihood of them progressing to a more advanced and more expensive disease state is lower. So believe it or not, Aetna actually wants these patients to take their drugs as well. Now, when they went back and analyzed their data, they found that their app called ScriptSync actually improved medication adherence anywhere between 6 to 10%. Now, just think about this as it relates to your practice. If you can improve care plan adherence for all of your patients, for every single new patient that walks through your door, between 6 and 10%, what would that do for your practice? What would that do for your patients? What would that do for their outcomes? What would that do for your brand? What would that do for your top and bottom lines? So we said, okay, we have an idea here. What would it look like if we built our own practice app? And we did. We launched it, and the main area of focus for our app, kind of the secret sauce, was how we gamified rewards. So everybody likes rewards. Everybody likes free stuff. People like to be rewarded for good behaviors. It's why the hotel industry, the hospitality industry, the airline industry all have points, because people dig rewards. And we felt like if we can gamify this, if we can gamify care plan adherence, and people are actually rewarded for attending their visits in addition to just getting a great outcome, which they should want to do anyway, by the way, but if they need a little extra motivation, if we can gamify this experience and make it more interesting and make it more fun, what would that look like for our adherents? So again, we released the app, and we did a whole bunch of things to like get it out to the universe: email blast, social blast, had our existing patients downloaded, all of our new patients downloading it. We put out flyers kind of showing what the perks were, what the benefits were to our patients. And then we have QR codes that are put up in posters throughout our offices, at the front desk, all over our rehab area, where patients just walk up to the poster, they scan the QR code, and they get a point for every single time they come into our practice. Now, there's a set goal for the number of visits for our patients, and when they meet that goal, they get an OIG compliant reward. And we have some fun with it too, because we like bang a gong. Each one of our offices has like a little gong, and everybody cheers and claps their hands, and we learn to have fun with our patients, and we create an experience for them that's memorable, that's remarkable, so they tell others about their experience at Kaizo Health. So what we did is we looked at our data of all doctor discharges after 90 days. And what we had at the beginning of this launch was 510 app users versus 452 patients that did not download the app at all. And we compared how they did as it related to their overall adherence. Now remember, Aetna and CVS with ScriptSync mobile app got somewhere between a 6 to 10% improvement. We would have been elated with that. However, when we analyzed the data through our research foundation, we had a 36% increase in visit adherence. And I'm going to tell you exactly how we measured it. Our PVA, our patient visit average, which is not a key metric that we measure all the time, but it is an indication of care plan adherence, is 11. Okay, that was our standard prior to launching the app. The 510 patients that downloaded the app came in for 4.7 more visits, so almost 5 more visits. So we brought our care plan adherence from 11 to 16. So that is a statistically and clinically significant difference in care plan adherence. And all you have to do, and you may be doing this in your own mind, if you think about like what your current average is, your baseline right now, your PVA is X, let's say it's 12, and all of a sudden you increase that by 4 or 5, and then you multiply that number times your average revenue per visit, that's your increase in your bottom line revenue, because you're already paying rent, you're already paying staff, it doesn't cost you any more to treat those patients. The vast majority, if not all of that money, is bottom line benefit. It is profit benefit. The interesting thing about what we did, however, is we built in a back-end dashboard, because it wasn't enough just to look at adherence. We wanted to know how our users were using the app. And during this period of time, what we found is that the number one screen that was the number one screen that was being used during the entire time when we were measuring this was the reward screen. So while we can't say from a research perspective that it was causation, we can specifically say that it was correlation. There was a correlation with the number one screen being used in the app and the number of increased visits that patients had for the folks that were downloading and using the app. And by the way, the number one screen that's still in use today across all of our app users is the reward screen. So our hypothesis proved that we could improve adherence by creating a mobile app that improved engagement and adherence for our patients. Awesome, super excited. But there was actually icing on the cake that we did not expect at all. See, so we built an assessment because we thought that would be really cool, where anybody could just download the app and take an assessment, and then the assessment through our clinical algorithm that we built on the back end would spit out specific exercises that were relevant to that particular individual. They could download the app from the App Store, or one of our patients could tell friends and family about the app, and if they had back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, knee pain, whatever it was, they could download the app, do the assessment, and get exercises. And ultimately, if the exercises helped, great, but if the exercise didn't quite get rid of the problem, we knew that we were now a trusted partner in that particular person's health, and they were more likely to call us than anyone else they knew. And so not only could they actually get exercises for free on the app, but they were also prompted to schedule an appointment if that's something they desired, right through the app. What we found is up to 22% of app downloads are outside of our practice. 22%, these are all leads, warm leads coming into our practice saying, I'm interested in what Kaizo Health is doing. And we've gotten up to 8 new patients a month. Before COVID hit, we were averaging 2 to 3, again, new patients a week just from the app. Now, the app has been a huge benefit to us through COVID because we're able to do telehealth. We're able to also send exercises through the app. There's a lot of things that we were able to do through the app that otherwise we wouldn't have been able to do through COVID. And that really helped us in a very difficult time. In addition, because we realized that, wow, people could actually refer folks to the app. They could do it verbally, or they could just tell people like, hey, go to the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. We decided that there was a better way. We could actually build in a refer a friend tile inside the app. So when they click on the refer a friend tile, they can send a text message or an email or even post on a social channel, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever, LinkedIn, wherever they want. It's all built-in functionality in the app. And they could actually send a message directly to that person and be like, hey, Mom, as you know, the doctors and staff at Kaizo Health were able to help me achieve significant improvement in my pain and mobility. What's even better is they created an app to give you free stretches based on your unique condition. You can download it with and then there's the link, and it shows them how to download the app. So it's just like infinitesimally easier for your patients to make a referral to their friends, family members, coworkers, loved ones. So this has been a really, really great development in our app. Now, what does the data say about other healthcare providers that think about the use of mobile technology? Now, if you're like our practice, you've got a lot of referrals that come from the medical community, nurse practitioners, primary care physicians, orthopedic surgeons. And so here's what the data says. About 93% of physicians feel that mHealth apps can boost a patient's healthcare outcome. 89% of physicians said that they would likely recommend an mHealth app to their patients. Facilitating ongoing communication between patient and physicians via apps and online portals can improve engagement rates by 60% or higher. So again, we're talking about engagement, right? Maintaining connection with our patients, making sure they adhere to their care plans, making sure they refer other patients into the practice. This is all data-driven, and it's data-driven not just from external sources like the Harvard Business Review or the Journal of Medical Internet Research, but we've been able to prove it with real-life data of over 1,000 patients. So we know that chiropractors need more help with their practices. They need more new patients. They need better care plan adherence, and they need operational efficiency. And because of that, when I sat with my research team and Jenna and John, and we looked at each other after being honestly dumbfounded by the improvement in adherence, we really didn't think it would be that much. We're like, oh my God, we should help other chiropractors. We should scale this to other chiropractic practices to help them with the same challenges that we faced. And so I reached out to a really good friend of mine, Dr. Bibu Misra. He was customer number 1. And I said, Bibu, what do you think about this? And I told him the whole story. I told him what happened. I told him what we did. I was like, do you want us to build you an app? And he's like, heck yeah. And so we built it for him. And I'm laughing because I'll show you a testimonial from his wife. They were the first, they were the first customers to be onboarded. Now we've got many more customers. And it's been a super positive experience for the folks that have engaged this technology to really reinvigorate and revolutionize their practice. So when we think about what the benefits are, I think it's important to talk about the benefits both to the staff and to the patients. So for instance, we've got online scheduling that we can do right through the app for our clients. So why is that good for patients? Well, it's convenient. Why is that good for staff? Because they're taking less phone calls, which takes a tremendous amount of time. By the way, we have one app customer in particular that I'm thinking of right now that does 95% of his scheduling. His patients do 95% of their scheduling through the app. They like literally never call the office. And so think about what that does in terms of productivity as well. You don't have to have somebody sitting at the desk manning the phones. Manning the phones does not generate revenue, but being a CA, providing services, providing value, maybe marketing work that can be done to drive more new patients to the practice, that's revenue generation. So efficiency for staff is really important. Of course, we've talked about the adherence piece with gamification, right? For patients, it's convenient, right? It's like, this is great. I can go to my office. I can scan rewards. I'm having fun. I can do this really easily just through the use of my mobile device, which I'm already on anyway every time I walk into my doctor's office. For the staff, it's also super efficient because you don't want to have to chase patients for their appointments. They're intrinsically motivated to come in and get rewarded for good behavior. Convenience for patients, we have web-based exercises that we can implement into the platform. We can use third-party web-based exercise systems. We have a whole library that we can provide for our clients that we have 150 video exercises they can plug and play right into the app for their patients. And for staff, it's super efficient because the days of giving out exercise sheets and writing down sets and reps, guys, are over. Those days are over. Like, nobody's going to be doing that. First of all, nobody should be doing it now, but if you're doing it now, like the use of mobile devices and meeting patients where they are on their phones is critically important. Patients are not going to want to schlep around an exercise sheet to work or to the gym. Maybe they lose it at home. Maybe the dog eats it. Who knows? But if they have it on their phone forever and they're constantly on their phones, which is where people are, then of course they're going to be more adherent in doing their home exercises. They want to schedule labs. We can connect with different types of labs. If you guys do any functional medicine, we can do that. For staff, less phone calls to schedule. And again, we've talked about the refer a friend, family member. Like, we don't have like business cards. Like, we have very few business cards that we give out. We used to give out, you know, consult cards and refer a friend. Or nope, not doing it anymore. So if anyone wants to refer a friend or family member, just pull up the app on your phone and let's go ahead and make that referral happen right then and there. So there's easy ways to make it efficient for your staff and really convenient for your patients, because patients are looking for convenience, and that meets them where they are. Again, we've got the health assessment, which is really important. And by the way, every single time someone from either your practice or someone from outside of your practice takes the assessment, your practice gets an email that notifies you that says, hey, you've got a lead. And I don't know if you can see right here where it says group. The group will either be the name of your practice if it's an existing patient who's downloaded the app and taken the assessment. And by the way, all they have to do is download the app and you're going to get notified, not just take the assessment. But when they take the assessment, that's a really warm lead because you know they've got some issues. And you have access to all that backend data as well. You know how your people are using the app. But if it says general public, you know that that's somebody who is not from your practice, and that is a great lead where you can follow up with that person and hopefully make them a new patient. So again, we have online store capabilities. You can actually add an online store. You don't have to ever worry about inventory or paper hassles as it relates to ordering product. It's convenient for your patients. We can set them up on auto pay where they get their supplements every single month, and it's convenient for them and for your staff. Obviously, they're not even involved in the process anymore. Like, you don't even have to worry about them worrying about inventory, selling product, any of that, all done through the mobile device. At the end of the day, we are committed to not just creating remarkable experiences for our patients and for our customers, but when we talk about our customers, other chiropractic practices, it's about achieving customer success. We have a very specific journey that all of our customers go through. We do a demo call, and we do a customization call. Once the app has been approved, we publish it to the Apple and Google Play Store. We do an implementation training call. I do that call personally with every single one of our customers. And we do it with the practice owner and their entire staff. And so we do the training implementation call just before launch so that everybody understands the why behind why we built this app for your practice and how they can really leverage the app to improve efficiency, effectiveness, and practice adherence. And then ultimately, we just get to watch your practices grow. And that's the most enjoyable piece of this whole thing, really watching you all be successful. So in addition, we've got an entire implementation guide and user manual that's written. We have training videos that we supply to you, specifically even scripting videos on how you talk to your patients. For instance, at the report of findings, how you talk about the app and why they should be downloading it, not just the features, but what's really the benefits to the patient to download the app. Every single one of our app customers gets a dashboard so you can see exactly, again, how your customers, how your patients are using the app. And then, of course, we've talked about lead generation, just a really great way to drive new patients into your practice. What's really crazy is that in a very short period of time, we've got over 5,000 users of our app. And as you can see by the slope of the scale, of the slope of the line, as we add more practices, the slope continues to increase. And we expect that we'll be at 10,000 individual app users by the end of the year. And it's super exciting for us just to watch this process grow and watch the impact that it's having with patients. But there really is more, because in addition to the training manuals, the training modules, the implementation call with me, obviously your own custom-built app, we do monthly customer coaching calls. So this is where all of our customers get on a call, and each month we recognize a doctor of the month. We talk about what's new in the app, what's coming in the app, and probably my favorite part of the discussion, quite honestly, is the open discussion where everybody gets to share their successes. Because chiropractic practices are so individualized, each practice is like using the app in a slightly different way. They're having slightly different conversations. They have slightly different implementation strategies based on what's working for them. And so the idea that people are sharing best practices is just a great opportunity to mastermind with some of the most successful chiropractors on the planet, literally, because we've got some amazing chiropractors in our group, and learn from like the best of the best and share with the best of the best. In addition, again, there's more. Every single one of our app customers gets our online training program for free. It's called Kaizennovate Academy. And the course that we built is called the Chiropractic Entrepreneur Framework. It literally takes providers and their staff from soup to nuts about what it takes to be a chiropractic entrepreneur, to create true entrepreneurial freedom, where you're not always working in the business, you're working on the business. We have a 10-page workbook that goes along with the course so that you can literally plan out the strategy roadmap that drives you to the next level of success. And as this particular screenshot says, gets you to your dream life. And then we've also got a Kaizennovate Mastermind Facebook group where we're sharing best practices, many of the same things that we talk about on the calls, but not everybody can always be on the call. So we're sharing a lot of content on that site as well. That is a private group only open to our Kaizennovate Canvas app customers. We also have a growth masterclass. This is focused very much around sales, marketing, and business development. We run that class every single month. It is the third Tuesday of every month, and that is also free to all of our app customers. So lots of added value in terms of the app. And you might be asking yourself, well, oh my God, how much does it cost? Now we know that like a basic app, like very, very basic, one platform, like kind of your basic features, can cost anywhere between $50,000 and $80,000. And it goes all the way up to $250,000. I've heard of some companies charging $500,000 for app development. And the timeline can go anywhere between 3 to 5 months to 9+ months for like your enterprise level large applications. But if you look on our website, what you'll see is that it is truly a fraction of the cost. So on our website, our pricing states that option A is a $1,999 setup fee and then $199 a month. Or if you don't want to pay the setup fee and you'd rather just go month to month, if you'd rather just pay monthly, for the first 12 months and then go month to month afterwards, you would pay $3.99 for the first 12 months and then $1.99 for every month thereafter. And just so you know, it is a bit more expensive. It's a few $100s more, but we are financing it out for you. So a couple things to know. The first thing to know is that really the development costs and that first year of month-to-month fees covers our internal development costs. That's how much it costs us internally just to be able to produce the app. Forget all the service that's wrapped around the app. So we're not even covering our costs in the first year. So this is how we basically price it out. So we cover our costs in the first year, and then once that happens, then we're all able to win. Your practice is doing better, and our business is doing better. And I think it's also important to understand that you need to think about your return on investment. And your return on investment is different if you're a member of a state association, because what we do is we provide you with a 50% discount on the development fee and a 25% discount on the month-to-month fee. So let's assume in the first year you spend $2,500 on the app because you go with option A. If you know what your average revenue is per visit, all you have to do, let's say your average revenue per visit is $100. Well, guess what? You got 25 patients who come one more visit, and one more visit, and you've just made up that difference. You've just gotten that return on investment back for just one more visit for 25 patients. So just think about that as it relates to return on investment. This is not an expense. This is truly an investment in your practice. And the world literally is going mobile. Do you really want to be left behind? If you're interested and you want to learn more, you want to set up a demo call, awesome. All you have to do is go to this link. And I know it's kind of long, so you can take a screenshot of it, or you can pull out your phone, take a picture of it. You'll go to this link, and it will send you to a Calendly page where you can actually schedule with John, and he will go through the demo with you, and we can start mocking up actually the product that you really want to customize for your own, for your own practice. And again, you get a huge discount because you're a state association member. I belong to 2 state associations. I belong to the National Association. I donate to the Foundation for Chiropractic Progress. I donate to Clinical Compass. I believe in giving back to our profession. And I know for all of you that are out there giving back as well, not only being members, but giving back to your PACs, this is really important. So we want to give back to you. Okay, just really lastly, because I know we're kind of getting towards the end, what are our customers saying? So again, I told you we've got some amazing customers, some really, really uber successful chiropractors that are part of our customer base. This is Dr. Alan Sokoloff. He's a 2-time winning Super Bowl chiropractor. He's been with the Baltimore Ravens for many, many years. He's got a huge practice just outside of Baltimore. And here's what he said. Our Canvas app has been a game changer in our office. It's allowed us to utilize technology that we normally wouldn't be able to afford in a way that is customized to our office and driving incredible results for our practice. Many of you know Dr. Ray Foxworth. Dr. Ray Foxworth is the owner and CEO of ChiroHealth USA. He has given literally millions of dollars back to the chiropractic profession. He was also one of our early adopters. And it was funny when I reached out to him and I told him about this, he's like, you're not going to believe this. We literally just had a meeting and I said to my sales and marketing team, we need to have an app. And so it's just ironic how the universe works, because what he needed and what we were building came together. And he said, the app that the team at Kaizennovate made for my practice has far more functionality than I could have wished for. The team took our ideas, brought them to life, and then took it to another level. And I got to give John, who's our principal technology engineer, a ton of credit. Like, if it can be done from a technology perspective, he makes it happen. And he makes it happen affordably, and that's the beautiful thing for all of us. And then I mentioned Dr. Mishra, the first doctor that we brought on as a customer. This is his wife and their office manager, Julianne. We're friends. We hang out a lot, and we try not to talk business all the time, but it does come up because we live in a world and we're passionate about chiropractic. And she was actually, her and her husband, Bibu, were over a couple of weekends ago, and we were hanging out, and she just started talking about the app. And I'm like, hey, would you mind leaving that as a testimonial? If you could just put that in writing, that would be amazing. And so she did, and this is what she said. She said, get ready. This is the future of practice management. The Clinic app has literally revolutionized our practice. As a chiropractic practice manager for more than 15 years, I can attest this app saves us time, energy, makes us money, and simplifies all we do for our patients. Call it a practice manager in your pocket. This is easily the best investment we've made in 15 years. Thanks, Dr. J and Kaiser team. So, you know, again, like I didn't ask her to say any of that. That's truly her words. And, you know, she's on this journey now with us. They're on this journey. Our customers are with us now on this journey to find ways to improve chiropractic practice, improve convenience for patients, improve efficiency for staff, improve outcomes for patients, improve bottom line and income for practices. This is the journey that we're on together. And while we can see pretty far into the future and we're already developing more features and benefits for the app, there's many, many more things in the road ahead that we're super excited for. So on this journey, working to overcome obstacles, success is certainly in our sights. So again, we would love for you to join the tribe. We want to see growth. We want to see patients have loyalty, and we want you to continue to build connection with your patients and with other success-minded chiropractors that are part of the Kaizennovate Canvas app tribe. The last thing I think that's important to know, and you can feel free, I'll give you a list of references who are our customers, but we are here to help. This is not about just selling an app. I said this earlier and I mean it. We are here for customer success. Our goal is not just to turn over a piece of technology to you and say, here you go, we've made our sale, we're done. We are committed to your success, and we will not stop working to help you achieve your levels of success that you desire until you've gotten there. So I want to thank everybody for being here today. I know this was, you know, a lot of information. We did it, you know, in about, let's see, did we go over an hour? We went a little bit over an hour, but that's okay. That happens sometimes. But I hope this was helpful in helping you understand how mobile technology can actually add tremendous value for your patients and your practice. And if there's any other questions that you have, please feel free to reach out to me. My email is drjay, D-R-J-A-Y, at Kaizennovate, KAIZENOVATE.com, drj at Kaizennovate.com. So thanks again for everybody being here today, and we look forward to working with you. Bye now.